Where will I look? Here, okay. So I think the statement is, I think it deserves to be scrutinized. Yeah. First, there are great personalities like Albert Einstein, one of the greatest human minds ever. And we also have Larry Bird, who has a lucrative career in NBA. And they have spent their career teaching. Like Albert Einstein, he taught in universities, and then Larry Bird coached NBA players. So that's the first reason that I think those who cannot teach. Those who actually can teach are the people who are experts of these concepts. Hi. One caramel frappuccino, please. Jobelle? Jobelle? The second one is, personally, teaching is a very hard job. And if you don't have the heart to teach young people, you cannot even last a school year or even a month. And if you don't have the guts to be a teacher, I think it's not possible for you to enter the profession.
So how often do you come here, Miss?
Before I had my kid, always every weekend, I'm with my friends, chatting about work, about life.
Is it a common thing between teachers to enjoy their off time like this?
Of course, we need time to distress, to talk about our problems with our students and interesting stories that we had in the classroom, and also our family back in the Philippines. So what inspired me to be a teacher? I think the good teachers that I have in my life inspired me to be a teacher, although that time I didn't realize it. I was destined to be a teacher at a very young age. I can remember when I was in first grade, I pretended to be a teacher, and I will set up chairs in front of me, stuffed toys in front of me, and I have a monologue about what happened in school. And during the college years, I actually shifted to become a doctor and have nursing as my pre-med. It's because I really love science subject. Okay, so this was me when I was having my practicum for nursing. And we were assigned to different areas in the hospital, and this was the time I was assigned to the pediatric area. And when I was doing community nursing, in which you have to teach people about medical procedures or the community itself, the health problems, I really enjoyed the act of teaching and when I give information to people. And when I already had my certification as a nurse, I asked my parents for their permission if I can pursue my love for teaching. And a decade passed, and I'm still a teacher, and I think I have to thank my teachers from the past who inspired me to become a teacher. And I think this was the time I realized that I'm really into teaching. When I was doing community nursing, teaching the community about health practices, hygiene, I really enjoyed it very much. Like this. I even made models to show it to the people. I think this was the model, how vaccines work, to encourage their children to be vaccinated. As I have mentioned a while ago, I was a nurse, and my friends are all nurses in other countries. And if I have the time to talk to them, I ask, how's your work? How is it going? And then they will say, it's very stressful. We're really burned out. We need to work 12 hours straight, no holidays. We have to ask the permission of the supervisor just to have holiday from work. And I told them, being a teacher, I realized we have some perks also. As mentioned, there are holidays, meaning if the students will not go to school, teachers will not go to school as well. This is us when we have our duty in the ER. So the ER is practically very busy towards the weekend. We have a lot of cases coming in. This was my first time to connect a patient to a drip, and I was nervous this time. Being a nurse, I think sometimes the time runs very slowly. Yeah, unlike being a teacher, it's very difficult to have a very boring day. It always ends with an interesting story to tell. And another thing is, it might sound like a cliche, but you get surrounded with love if you're a teacher. As a nurse, you can be scolded by the patient, by the doctor, by your supervisor. But as a teacher, it's like you are the apple of the eyes of your students. And I remembered when I handled lower primary, I always receive letters of love from my students. And with that, I always have instant smile every time I deal with my students. This was me when I graduated. This is the clinical graduation, and I received medals for my course. This was me talking again to the community. This was also the same thing. I had with my fellow honor student when I was in college. And this was me having my oath taking as a certified nurse, and with my friends during our graduation for nursing. Yeah. For you to be able to be an expert, you really need to know how to explain, and you have to have better understanding of the concept. And as a nurse, a certified nurse, when I teach my students about biology concept, about human body, how to take care of one's health, it's because I teach that I think if I will shift again to become a nurse, I will be able to do my job well, because I was able to answer the questions of my students about human body, about certain processes. And I think because of teaching, I was able to be an expert when it comes to health. And if you're a person who wants to influence people, then teaching would be a profession for you. My name is Jobelle, and I am an educator.